The Braves. The Braves is action roguelike game, and the Craft of Survival, it's a well, survival horror game. Yeah. Uh, well, where did it all begin? I mean, when I decided to become a game designer. Actually, I can't pinpoint exactly when I first became interested in game design. As a child, I loved storytelling and even create some 2 or 3 board games. But to be honest, I didn't play many video games because I just don't like it. After university, I worked as an engineer and economist, and well, my job was to analyze how to use resources like money, materials, and labor efficiently in engineering projects. Uh, for example, imagine build imagine a new park with swing slides and fountains being built. So my work was help figure out how much money it's needed for the construction, how to best distribute resources, and how much time the project will take. So I was far from the game industry at first. And maybe for me, it started with love. I met a guy with at my well, I met a guy at my friend's birthday party, and he was different from all other guests. And I can quite explain what made him stand out. He just different. We chatted, and I asked what he did for a living. He said he was a programmer and great games, and I said, "Oh, games, it's for the kids." And he replied, "No, there are many adults who play games." And at that moment, I thought, "OMG, really? Playing games? That seems so immature to me." Uh, well, it was my first expression, my first yeah expression, but uh, he was such an interesting person, so I gave it a shot, and we started dating. I met his friends, and they were all were gamers. Obviously, I got more familiar with games, and for me, it felt like I have discovered a whole new universe, a whole new world that I fell in love with. And then one day I realized that game design was a perfect blend of creativity and problem solving. This is my two strong skills. That is my strong suits. Well, and then I decided uh, to make it my career, and I have no regrets about this decision. So right now I'm working on Avatar Life, and my position is future owner game designer. Uh, what does a future owner do, you may ask? Well, before I explain, let me first tell you about other types of game designers, and then I'll come back to my role. First of all, my favorite role is narrative designers. I actually started as a narrative designer. They do much more than just write text. They create the game lore, the characters' backstories, and everything that makes the world
What in the
feel
world is
alive.
this?
Uh, Game stories can be, well, simple, like in Gardenscapes,
Daddy, isn't
uh,
this my tea?
and and let's saw a short video about Austin the Butler. Maybe you recognize him. Yeah. And where's video? Oh my gosh, where's video? Do you see? Can you see a video? Is it okay?
Oh yeah,
Raise
we
your
can see the
digital.
video.
Yeah. Yes. I love this video, so warm and cozy. And this video is shown when you first launch the game, uh, and providing an introduction of the world, uh, of your character and Austin himself. From the very first second, it immerses you in the game universe, making it feel alive. Austin is no longer just a flat, lifeless figure. He becomes a real digital character you can connect with. And that's thanks to the narrative designers who breathed life into him. But game stories can be more complex, like in Zelda, Legend of Zelda. This game feels like a whole world, whole universe. You explore ruins, uncover ancient texts, and piece together the hints about history of Hyrule. The story um, isn't just told; it's discovered by players. This approach makes every journal unique and personal. But narrative designers design it's not all about text. For example, in the game Limbo, a little boy moves forward, uh, overcoming traps and challenges, and there isn't a single line of text explaining the story. Yet fans have created countless theories about who the boy is, why he is in limbo, and what he is trying to achieve. So narrative it's not about telling the story, like directly telling, but to create story in your heads, in players' heads. Some theories, uh, some theories, some stories that you create in your head when you play in the game. So that is narrative. For me, um, my first my first memorable story was in Divinity 2 Ego Dragonis. It's very old game uh, from 2008. 8. I won't spoil it for you just in case you want to play, but I will say this. Through the game, I believe everything this story told me, only to learn the truth at the end. At the very end, in the very, very last second, I learned the truth, and that was incredible. It's for me, it's like a very, very unique story for me because it was my first narrative game. Well, I was a narrative designer. I am a narrative designer somehow, so I can I can speak about narrative like whole day. Let's talk about next next role, and this is level designers. Where is yeah. Level designers create the game's environment, the game maps, and it's important and important make them exciting for players to explore. This can be simple maps like in gardenscapes, where maps is like different parts of the garden, and it can be Zelda or Fallout or Fortnite or you name it. So or Red Dead Redemption 2. So this is what I meant when I
Exactly.
say complex maps. These maps, like Zelda, um, it's a entire worlds with their own rules, maps, and points of interests for players to discover. Often narrative and level designers work together. One might come up with the story of a place, while the other makes this place interesting to explore. For example, imagine a castle. A narrative designer may create a story about this castle. This is a haunted castle where something bad happened. And you have to find some items, solve the puzzles, and, well, find your way out. And the level designer would then make this castle interesting to explore, not just a straight corridor, you see, but a labyrinth with dead ends and challenges and something like that. So you will be enjoying to explore and solve these puzzles, these riddles. Well, also game designers work on things like game balance or combat mechanics, project life operations, and many other tasks. And a lot of this involves data and numbers and Google Sheets, which might seem less exciting than storytelling or creating environments. Uh, but it's important for making a fun game. Uh, well, now back to my role as a feature owner. Unlike the designers I've just mentioned, who usually focus on the specific part of the game, a future owner knows everything about the future or about the game from A to Z. This includes not just game design itself, but also how the feature works on a programmer level or and in analytics, how it performs. Does players like it or dislike? Why dislike? So it's many other questions. And a feature owner needs to know a little bit of everything: how to program, how to create narrative, maps, balance, and many other things. Uh, and it doesn't mean they do it all alone. They have a team to help them, but there are ones setting the tasks and reviewing the results. Think of feature owner like being a head chef in a kitchen. Uh, the head chef doesn't cook every dish themselves. Instead, they manage the kitchen, assign tasks, check the quality of the food, and plan the menu. But if needed, they can step in and cook any dish. So, uh, feature owner is something like that. So Let me check your uh, documents if there are any questions so far. No. So then I will talk about the skills you'll need to become a game designer or work in game development. And first of all is soft skills. Communication is especially important. Uh, a game designer needs to explain their ideas clearly to everyone on the team, from programmers who think logically to artists with more creative mindsets. Well, teamwork, adaptivity, problem solving, time management, yes, it's also important, but communication is key for game designer. It's a must. Next skill, it's understanding players' behavior. Uh, did you know that um, did you know that right-handed people are more likely to choose the right path when they reach a fork in an unfamiliar road? There is no explanation. There are some explanation for this, but uh, it's just behavior. You can use this in the games by putting something interesting in dead end on the right and making the left part the correct way forward. Uh, Fun fact about me, I'm an ambidextrous person and I often choose the left part. So it's sometimes I need to go back and check the right path because I thought the right path will be the next area, but yeah, it's not. So this particular psychological pattern doesn't work on me. However, as a game designer, I still make use of it because it aligned with the behavior of most players. Another interesting behavior, it's about colors. When you saw something red, well, red is a threat. It's maybe enemies or something. Well, this is a threat. But when you see something green, it's maybe a healing area or safe zone. So this is another interesting pattern of the player's behavior. If you want players to go somewhere, just put it in green. So they will go there because green is good. Green is safe for players. Uh, what about programming? My opinion, programming isn't a must for game designer, but knowing the basics can help you communicate with programmers more effectively. And if you know some script language, for example, Python, you can create some scripts. Those can help you with your work. So it's not a must, but if you do know programming, it's uh, very good for you, for your career, and well, it's good in many uh, many ways. You might be wondering how to improve your skills and how gain some skills. Well, you are already on the right track because you're learning Scratch or Python or how to create games in Roblox. And I'm sure many of you have created games uh, in Roblox or Scratch with your digital hands if you do this. Uh, that's a fantastic start, actually. The next step could be participating in game jams. Keep that in mind. Uh, Now I have a few questions for you. Uh, and raise your digital hands, please. Real hands. It doesn't matter. Uh, have any of you created your own game yet? Yeah, I saw one, two. Yeah. The second question. Have you shared it with friend or other players? Obviously. Uh, the third question, did you get feedback and did you pay attention to it? Well, actually, the third question was the B question. For those who raised their hands for all three questions, great job, keep it up. Uh, why the third question is important? Because you making game for them, for players. So you always have to pay attention to players' feedback. Yeah, I know criticism might feel tough at first, but it's a great opportunity to make your game even better. For example, if players say your game is boring or they just don't like it, try to understand their perspective. Why do they find it boring? Or why didn't they don't like it? Why? I'm sorry. Why didn't they like? Uh, Sometimes the answer lies in something that seems insignificant at first glance. For instance, um, there was a game I couldn't stand playing, and I don't know why. I couldn't figure it out why. Then I just turned off the in-game music, and the game felt much more enjoyable. Uh, what seems like a small detail completely changing my experience. So, uh, players' feedback is very important to improve your games and improve your skills because only players can say what is in game well, maybe better. Another way to improve your skills is, well, by playing games. But don't just play. I'm sorry. It's just early morning to me, so I'm just,
Analyze.
yeah, thank you. Analyze them. Uh, think about why you like or dislike a certain game. What could be changed in game to make you enjoy it more? So, like, turn up the music. Or on the other hand, what could make you stop liking it? And try not to stick only a famous or popular games. Explore a variety of titles to broaden your perspective. Well, what about questions? No questions so far? No? Well, then I go to the final section. Uh, and I'd like to recommend some useful resources, not just for game designers, but for anyone is interested in game development. Maybe you already know some of them, and if you do, great job. It's awesome. First of all, Thomas Brush channel. Thomas is an indie game developer with lots of practical advice. Extra credit have a lot of videos on player behavior and other interesting topics. And by the way, they have additional channel named the Extra History. Uh, well, this channel is great for broaden your horizons. If you feel like reading, I recommend The Art of Game Design by Jesse Shell. Well, this is ultimate book for game designers. It's a bit old, but it provides essential foundational knowledge. Game Design Workshop, another great book for learning the basics, and Game Feel is this is more one more advanced, so I don't recommend start with it. But Game feel is about how human perception works and why some games feel better than other. Some similar games feel better than other. But the most important thing I want to tell you is this, and a little bit obvious maybe. You won't learn game design just by reading books or watching videos. You need to try to create and share your games with friends. Get feedback, which might not always be pleasant. Improve your game and try again. And this is the real secret of making great games. Keep trying and Don't give up.